from the lighter side of pest control. This is the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with your hosts, Jack and Brad.
Good evening, cheese bags and all the ships at sea. It's Jack from Tales from the Crawl Space, and halfway across the country, we have Brad Harvey.
Jack, how's it going tonight?
Going good, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing fucking terrific, man. I am having probably one of the best weeks I've had in a long time. I've got a lot of things going on, right now, and they're all good. So, season's here. I'm going to be making a major life change. I'm going to be seeing you in a couple weeks. And, our guest tonight is somebody I've been wanting to talk to for a long time. So yeah, man, all fucking cylinders are pumping tonight.
Fucking amazing. I gotta tell you about, pumping cylinders, and no, it's not what you're thinking, so put it back in your pants.
Do I have to?
No, you don't have to, but I'm just glad my camera's off.
I
want to announce to everybody that we have Tales from the Crawl Space and Pest Control Humor Depot beer koozies, and you need to keep your beer cold in style at parties, at home, drinking by yourself if you're an alcoholic, or however you do it. And they're gorgeous koozies. I actually had to order another whole batch because I've already got a bunch of sales, and our sweet friend purchased 10 of them. So That's awesome. I don't know if she wants her name mentioned on the show, so I'm not gonna, but you know who you are, kind lady. And thank you very much.
And we love you. You were a quick friend, and really appreciate it. And Jack, I'm telling you what, I don't have one with me since these just rolled out, but I'm looking forward to nestling my can o' beer in one of those attractive and popular koozies.
And our guest, Issa Tater, will be getting a free beer koozie as well as sticker and patch from Tales from the Crawl Space.
And a 2-week supply of Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
All right. Well, I'm going to sit back and provide color commentary here because that's what I'm good at. I'm always good at making a smart ass improperly placed comment. So I will let you take over, Mr. Brad.
Absolutely. Part of the cat has been drug out of the bag already, but tonight is a special night. Our guest is somebody that I've been wanting to talk to personally for a long fucking time. This guy is extremely prolific on Pest Control Humor Depot. Everything that he does is practically gold. And I mean, basically this guy carries it sometimes. He is amazingly funny, knows his shit. And, I'm just really looking forward to talking to him. So you know him, maybe you love him. He is the one and only Issa Tater. Tater, how you doing tonight, man? Tater?
You hear that?
I hear you now.
Winds of change, gentlemen.
The winds of change.
Yes. My name is Issa Tater, and I want to start off this podcast with a little joke for all of my cheese bags out there.
Let's hear it.
What is the Pope's favorite cheese?
What is it?
Swiss, because it's holy.
Now, oh my God.
Now, I was going to say because it's lightly aged, but that would be in bad taste, like what he leaves in Choir Boys. So,
my God. Are you saying that he likes the holes in the baby Swiss?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, who doesn't? Yeah. Anyways, my cheese bags and crawl space cadets. My name is Issa Tater, and I eat ass on the first date. Unless we have Indian food.
We have something in common then.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm very excited to be here with you gentlemen, talking about the lighter side of pest control.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a mouthful of recycled Muscles Vindaloo now, is there?
Amen to that.
Well, nothing says I'm happy to get to know you like tongue punching in the fart box. So, you know.
That's right. So, yeah,
that's the way to say hello.
Yeah, you're definitely among friends here, Tater. So, hey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long have you been in the field?
Sure. I have been in the field 1,320 days, and that equates to 3.5 years, but much like certain physical aspects, I will enunciate it to appear larger than it actually is. sorry, Tinder one night stands. You're invested and I'm clever. So
this is something that most pest control companies excel at. They always try to make themselves look 50 times bigger than they actually are. So it's absolutely, being a 10-year veteran of one of those companies, I can definitely understand where you're coming from. So you actually have a particular area of expertise. I believe it's wildlife.
That is correct, sir. I love to do wildlife trapping. It's nothing major. You'll probably see a lot of the same critters in certain parts of the country that I take care of, but we have a large population of raccoons and skunks, tree squirrels, ground squirrels, and we also have a couple weasels that like to show their faces in people's homes. Not only that, but doing pest control in the Rocky Mountains, while you're doing your outside service, you also have to be aware of wildlife that we don't take care of, such as bears or moose or the dreaded mountain lion, which is pretty rare.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd think mountain lions were just crawling all over the fucking place if you watch the news and the TV and stuff like that. Cause you're always hearing about somebody, jogger attacked by mountain lion or, small family devoured by bears and things like that. But, you bet you're telling me you don't run into too much of that out there in the Rockies?
I think the largest, the largest portion of wildlife that I do see are bears, just because they are very prevalent with coming up to people's houses and people don't really properly store their trash. You'll have bears crawling over your fence, and I've actually had multiple instances where I'm doing the service, spraying, and I round the corner and a bear is on a client's deck, and they've gotten so smart that they'll actually stand up and they'll try to twist people's doorknobs to get into their home.
Yeah. Well, sure. They want to go in and take a shit. They're tired of doing it in the woods. And, so have you yourself run into too many of them? I mean, what do? Do you just stand there and shit your pants with the customer or what?
Well, I always heard that if it's black, scream them back. If it's brown, lay on the ground. And if it's white, say goodnight. When it comes to bears.
Nice.
That's very true. And that's also the same if you accidentally fall into a pile of shit too.
True enough.
I think it's one of those situations where the first time I ever saw a bear, I was nervous at first. And then after I saw my next 8, 10, 12 bears, I basically treat them like large raccoons because that's basically what black bears are. They're not an apex predator. There was actually one situation where I got done spraying at a client's house who is in a very, very remote ranch style home. And at that time, my truck's AC was broken in the dead of summer. And the night before, I made the best bacon turkey sandwich you could ever think of. It had all the fixings, everything. And I had it sitting in my passenger seat in a nice fortified cooler. And I kept my driver's side window down because I didn't want my truck to overheat and ruin this absolute beautiful sandwich I made.
Sure. Sounds like a work of art.
So I come out, and the client's front door is probably a good 25, 30 feet from my truck. And when I come out, there is a juvenile bear. He's standing up on his back legs, next to my driver's side door, and he has part of his body inside my truck, and I can see him pawing my, cooler. And so, I mean, some people would probably just be like, well, he's scary. I should probably just let him have my food. But, when it comes to me and food, I really don't play with that. So, I started yelling at him, and I'm just like, hey, bear, get out of here. And so he stands up and he puts his front paws on the hood of my truck and walks around. So he's still on the other side of my truck. So I pick up the nearest rock and I chuck it and I beam him right in the nose and he just takes off.
Oh, nice. All right.
Nobody's touching my lawn.
So he moseys himself over with his paws on your vehicle, like an old fat guy like me would in order to get closer to you.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And Brad, I'm not going to let you take my lunch either. I'm sorry.
You know that turkey sandwich, though, you may have a problem on your hands if I ever hear about it. So,
well, I got to tell you, there was a guy, when I was doing pest control, there's this guy that was the groundskeeper for this huge mountain estate. And he had a little cabin off to the side of the property. And he had one of those 1950s triple roll panel steel type refrigerators with the big steel hinges on the outside. And he knew that they were bear around, so he kept a padlock on the damn refrigerator, and he thought that would do it. He said he woke up one night to a bunch of things being banged around on his porch. This bear had ripped the door off the fridge to get to the beer that was inside the fridge, and he had some like country ham in there too. That's probably what drew the bear. But he ran out the door with the shotgun, and the bear stood up, and directly behind the bear was his truck, so he couldn't shoot. So the bear took off running. He ran off the porch, turned to the right. The bear stopped to look at him. He raised his shotgun, and there's this boat sitting in the fucking driveway behind the bear, so he still couldn't shoot. And he was all pissed off. He's like, the fucking bear drank all my goddamn beer, ate my fucking ham, ripped the door off that fucking 1950s fridge. I mean, look, you can hit it with a car these days, and the fridge will just bounce around, and the car will be gone. But this bear managed to rip the door off of it.
All right. Yeah, bears don't fuck around. I've only had 2 bear experiences in my entire life, and one of them when I was young, and the other one was, I was an adult and I had a child of my own. The first one, 1976, we were out at Yellowstone, in the Yellowstone, the Wyoming area. We spent the night in the park. We had a camper, and we hung out, and we're sitting around the fire, having a good time, roasting our marshmallows, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden over the loudspeakers, they said that there's been a bear sighted in the campground area, and kind of giving everybody instructions on what to do to keep from getting fucked up by this bear.
Those are definitely the bad ones too. The ones that are out in Yellowstone.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're used to being around people. So, we got everything packed up, put the cooler in the trunk of the car, got everybody in the camper. Everything was cool. My little brother, Mark, is, shitting bricks over this bear situation. So he feels like he would be safer in the car. So he gets in the car, and my mom is like, where the hell's Mark? And I was like, he's in the car. She's like, God damn it. Mark, get your ass in here. So he gets out of the car, gets back in the camper. Well, the next morning, Mom tells us this tale that kind of raises the hair on the back of everybody's necks. She heard a noise out there, and apparently Mark left the window down in the car. So this bear got in the car, trying to get at the cooler, clawed the back seat up and everything. And we were just like, God, Mom, you're full of shit, and she's just trying to scare us. So we get everything packed up, get the camper hooked back up. We're getting ready to leave. We get in that car, and I almost puked how bad it smelled. I mean, this was 76. I was 12 years old. I'm almost 60 now, and I still fucking remember that smell. And, and the back seat was slashed. There was bear hair all over the fucking place. And my mom said, I shit you not. She goes, I looked out the camper, and that fucking bear stuck its head out the damn window. She goes, I don't know how I got in the goddamn car. His fucking head took up the whole fucking window. And, to this day, I still think about that story. And it's like, my little brother just fucked us. We had to stay in that stanky ass fucking car all day, and, ripped seats and everything, bear hair all over the place. Yeah, it's fucking fun.
Well, see, I thought your mom was gonna tell a joke and say that she heard some noise in the woods, and it went, "Hey, boo boo, let's go get some picnic baskets."
Yeah, trying to steal your picnic basket.
Mr. Ranger, sir.
That's right, Mr. Ranger, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Ranger's not gonna like this, Yogi. Oh fuck. Second one, again, in Yellowstone. I figured we had such a good time with my dysfunctional young family that, let's do it again. I got a dysfunctional family of my own. Let's go out to Yellowstone. So,
we all right?
Exactly. And my daughter. So we're cruising around. We're actually in Cody, Wyoming at the time. And we're driving around, and she's desperate to see a fucking bear, right? And, we just didn't see any fucking bears. This was just like a year or so after Yellowstone caught fire, back in the, in the 90s. And, so there wasn't a whole lot in the way of wildlife. Yeah. There was tons of bison. You'd catch an elk every now and again, blah, blah, blah. But, the bears were kind of scarce. We're driving through Cody, and she goes, Mom, Dad, there's a bear out there. And we're looking, it's like, we see a dark figure. It's kind of off in a field somewhere. So we go cut through a couple roads and shit, go up there. It's a fucking plastic bag sitting in a damn field.
Oh man, that's always the worst when you think it's something, but it turns out it's completely different.
Bears are awesome. I've seen, plenty. My wife and I go to the Smokies all the time. We see plenty of black bear and whatnot. The ones that really kill me are people that go to the Smokies and they will stop traffic for, they'll be, the fucking road will be clogged up for miles and you get up there and what are they looking at? A fucking squirrel. And it's like, come on, guys.
Well, I got to tell you, the only bear story I have is not even near that kind of story, but a lot more disturbing. When I was doing pest control in DC, I had to do pest control at a gay club and this really big, fat, hairy gay guy was making passes at me. That's my only bear story.
Ooh.
Oh man. Yeah, it's good. You probably didn't have that long beard that you have now. You'd have something to hold on to.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I had to have a cleanly shorn face.
Yeah. I printed that picture you got when you were in military academy. You got on your profile. I printed that.
Why?
Ooh,
I printed that.
First personal records. Are you kidding me?
That's right.
To make fun of my Superman chin?
It goes into my shrine.
Yeah. He's going to tape it on like a mannequin and have dinner with it, of course.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I'm waiting for that Indiana Decker, cantaloupe season to come out so I can hollow one out and tape it to it. All right. Anyway, okay, back to what we were talking about.
Yep.
The Tater. One of the, I reached out to some of the cheese bags on PCHD clandestinely, said, okay, we're going to have Issa Tater on the show. What do you want to tell him or ask him? Several people responded and the vast majority of it was, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
Yeah. So
Tater, what's a day in your life like?
So a day in my life is, number one, business ownership. It's been the most fulfilling and terrifying moment of my life. A lot of things have kind of led me to this point. Even before I got into the pest control industry, I already knew just how dark and deep the human race could get just from prior experiences. And then once I found this industry, I just found that it's a beautiful gift of my past very strange ways of thinking and mixing it with providing public safety for people. And I love to wear many hats, such as tech, salesman. I used to be a manager, and I'm a pretty I'm a pretty frequent MILF charmer too.
Nice. There you go.
At the end of the day, I just love to do genuine good for the community. And every once in a while, rejection hurts, but they have a smaller penis than I do, so it's really not personal at that point.
When you're swinging some pipe, a lot of things don't bother you. So yeah, good deal.
Absolutely.
So you're talking about the, being the most scary, and satisfying thing in your life. You got any good horror stories or train wrecks that you can share with our 12 listeners?
Absolutely. So this actually happened on my very first day, almost 4 years ago. I was being trained and I went down into a crawl space and I was belly crawling the crawl space to try to find this pack rat nest. And at the time, I didn't really have like a man's pocket knife. I had like one of those little utility, like red, like Swiss Army knives type deals. Mm-hmm. And so I'm crawling through the crawl space and all of a sudden my flashlight starts acting up, starts kind of flickering, whatnot. So it's almost kind of like a horror movie situation where when I finally turn it on, there was a pack rat that was actually in the rafters right above me. And my instinct was, oh my God, get it away from me. So I actually jabbed it with my knife and the pack rat was so big and my knife was so small and it actually got stuck in it and it took off. And I'm like, oh God, how am I going to explain this to my boss?
Oh, so it took off with the knife.
Yes, and it's tied. And so I get out, and it's my first day, so I'm kind of freaking out because I'm like, man, is that a usual thing? And he's like, no, that's actually very rare. And so later that day, when I'm driving back to my house, I felt something on my neck, and so I look in my rear view mirror, and there's actually a western widow crawling on my neck towards my face. And I'm driving 80 on I-70, and I panicked, and I squashed it going full speed, like just straight against my neck. And that was my very first day. And so I love to look back at that, and I'm like, all right, if that didn't convince me to leave, nothing will.
Yeah, there you go. It's always those first things. It seems like the first is the worst. Because I had a situation when I first started where I was doing some housing projects with the guy that was training me, and he hands me this can of aerosol, the kind that's got the straw in it for crack and crevice. He goes, stick that up between those two cabinets. I did, and I did it. I mean, cockroaches just come pouring out just in legion all down my arm, up in my shirt and everything like that. I'm brushing them off and everything. And, I get the job done. We're back in the truck heading to the next place. He goes, that's probably the worst that you'll ever find. And you did fine on it. I said, dude, I got a 30-year mortgage to fucking pay. And nothing's going to bother me right now. But,
right.
but guys, deep down inside, I was like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? And it's like, I could be flipping burgers right now and not having cockroaches all over me. But I stuck with it. I fell in love with it. And, like you said before, you're helping people, and you're getting to exploit your weird side and at all times. And that's what really turns me on about the job. And it sounds like, you share that.
Absolutely. And then another horror story that I had, which was a little bit more recent, it was about a year ago, and these people kept hearing noises in their attic. And so whenever you go into an attic, there's multiple things. It could be rats, it could be pigeons, it could be bats, or raccoons. And so I go up in there, and they had two crawl space accesses. One was in the master bedroom, and then all the way on the other side, they had one in the garage. So I went up into the master bedroom first, and I saw pigeon droppings, bird feathers, all of that good jazz. And I'm like, okay, well, I definitely see a hole that they're coming in from, so it very well could be pigeons. So I get out of there. And before I leave, I decide to check their garage attic. And at the time, I didn't know that the two attics were connected because there was like a pretty large wall inside the attic. So when I go up into the garage side of the attic, I start walking on the support beams, and then all of a sudden, right in front of me, they had that really crappy, like white spray insulation in the attic, like that type of stuff that just gets stuck on your skin and clothes and can never come off.
Shit, yeah.
And so I see it start moving, and all of a sudden I see a little baby raccoon's head pop up, and then I see another one, and then another one. And when they want their mom to come, they kind of make like this chittering noise. And so they start doing that, and I'm like, oh God, like where's the mama at? And sure enough, I start hearing the little kind of growl that they do, like, and so I turn around, and so the mama raccoon is between me and the trap door, and I'm between her and her babies.
Oh boy.
So,
so not a good spot.
So I'm like, oh man, she is pissed. So I actually have to beeline across the attic and go to the other trap door that was in the master bedroom, use my pocket knife to pry it open, and then basically jump down onto their bed because the mom was blocking my way out. And the homeowners were in the garage waiting for me, and the look on their faces when I came out through their house was priceless, because they're like, what, we heard some commotion. Wait, why are you coming out that way?
Jeez.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my goodness. Yeah, raccoons, I mean, yeah, they're cute and furry and everything, and they're adorable when they're babies, but yeah, don't ever get between the youngin' and the mama.
Absolutely.
That's a quick way to get yourself fucked up quick.
I had an attic full of fart squirrels once.
Fart squirrels?
Ooh.
Yeah, I had an attic full of those once. That was fun.
No, brother.
Hate them.
Yeah. Hey, okay, why don't you tell us about some of the funniest work situations you found yourself in?
Oh man, my favorite one, has to be, I was working on a oil field in July, and so it is hotter than Hades' taint.
Right.
And I had to wear flame retardant, jumpsuit basically. So that just added another 20 degrees to my fat ass in July. And so this is a two-parter, and I'm still shocked that this happened to me both on the same day. So the night before, I ate some bad Chinese food. Like, that was not a good idea on my part. And so this oil field is hundreds of miles with like 40 different stations. And I mean, most stations have porta potties. So I have to use one, and I'm sitting there like fighting for my life. And all of a sudden I see a yellow jacket fly past my head, and I'm like, oh God. And that's one of my least favorite stinging insects, because as we all know, they're so aggressive. Like, they will sting you just for looking at them weird.
Right. Yeah. They're assholes with wings. Yep.
Yeah. And so I squash it, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then another one comes up, and then I squash that, and then another one. And I'm like, what is going on? So when I get done, I go to the back of the porta potty, and there was a yellow jacket nest connected to the back of the porta potty. And I'm like, oh God.
Wow.
So I had to get a piece of paper out, and I duct taped it to the porta potty, like saying, hey, I eliminated this threat at this time. Nobody can use this porta potty for like 3 hours. And so I got out my can of CB80 pyrethrins, and I rained down hell on those yellow jackets.
Nice.
And just completely obliterated them. And so later that day, again, the Chinese food is really, really screwing me up. And I go to an abandoned part of the oil field. And so since it's abandoned, they don't have to keep a porta potty on site. And have you ever been in one of those situations where you're in public or you're driving and you like get that urge where like, if I don't shit in the next 10 seconds, I'm going to be a problem for everybody near me.
Oh, hell yeah.
And,
just yesterday.
And this part of the oil field had construction workers on one side. So the only thing that I had my graveyard bucket for mouse carcasses. So I had to empty that out and put a trash bag in it. And I went to the furthest building possible from those construction workers and had to do what I had to do. And when I got done, I realized I am surrounded by scorpions and spiders. like behind enemy lines surrounded. And
damn.
I mean, like, I don't see scorpions that often. So that was one of my first cases with them. And not gonna lie, it was absolutely terrifying.
Oh my God. But I mean, if you didn't have to shit before then, I'm sure you had to shit then.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, kudos for you to think enough to actually put a trash can liner in that bucket before you let her rip. Usually I don't have that, sometimes I forget them or whatever. And it's a problem. So, it sounds like you followed the Boy Scout motto and were quite prepared for this situation.
Well, I gotta tell you, doing bird work, wearing a Tyvek suit where you have your, pants legs duct taped to your boots and your sleeves duct taped to your gloves when you're diabetic and you're on metformin. Sometimes the poop arrives and you're not, and it doesn't give you much warning. So trying to get out of that suit when you gotta, take a hot sloppy ploppy isn't the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, cause if you gamble and lose, man, you're going to be carrying that shit around for a while.
And it's Tyvek, so it's not leaking out. You're stuck with it.
That's right. And you got your ankles taped too, so you can't just do the leg shake and knock it out of there either.
I'll have poop cankles.
Right. Poop cankles, that's right.
And probably my most funny story that actually ended up ruining my day has to be the marmot story. And I know that I posted this a long time ago, but at this time I was battling this marmot that would not get out from underneath this client's deck. Cause just when it comes to rock chucks or groundhogs, like if there's any hole in a structure, they're going to find it and they're going to den up. So at this time I was trying to spray the outside with like a pretty diluted solution of what is basically coyote piss. And it had just rained that day. And so I'm walking along this cabin and it's kind of on a little sloped mountainside, like nothing dangerous, but, I was walking and the marmot actually came out and did its little whistling and it spooked me and I stepped on this rock that was held up by nothing but mud because it had just rained. And so the rock gave out and I tumbled down like this 20-foot hill and I spilled coyote piss all over me.
Oh,
like,
man.
Everywhere, man. Like my truck reeked for a whole week and I had to call my next 6 clients. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to have to reschedule you. And that was the worst hour and a half drive home ever.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're also having a bunch of male coyotes following you, thinking they're going to get them some pootie tang.
Absolutely.
Lord.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So hey, Issa, you seem to be a wildlife juggernaut here. Do you, in any of your life in this industry, did you do any other type of structural pest control, insects, rodents, things like that, or has it been strictly wildlife this whole time?
No. So what I always like to say is the wildlife work keeps my day to day interesting, but the pest control is what keeps the lights on.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're accustomed to going in and battling the 6-legged motherfuckers that we all deal with, and cool.
Yep. Just like Russell says, the 6-legged Jezebels.
6-legged Jezebels of the sky.
Yeah.
Kind of like to know what happened to Russell. We haven't seen him for a minute, so I hope everything's doing okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, as is always the case here at Tales from the Crawl Space, the conversation inevitably turns to the subject of sexual hardware, and tonight is no exception. Everyone has a pet story in this category, so what's yours?
So I've been very fortunate enough to not happen upon a dead body yet, or when it comes to dildos, I haven't seen those at people's houses.
I know. I am mortified.
What I have seen though is when I do go to certain homes that appear to be secondary homes, I always like to do a thorough inspection. So I'm checking every closet, every target area I can. And
okay, hold on. So let me open my robe recklessly here. All right, keep going. All right, keep going.
Yeah. And so I've happened upon little stash spots where people had many ounces of cocaine, or they had like a pound of marijuana stuffed in a grandfather clock. But when it comes to certain physical situations I found myself in, probably the one that's still burned in my mind and I wish that I could just wash it off is, I was doing an apartment inspection, and this person was very, very seasoned. I mean, they were probably close to 90 years old. And I'm talking to them while I'm doing my inspection, and their bathroom is right across the hall from their kitchen. So I am in the kitchen checking underneath the sink, and unbeknownst to me, the man went into his bathroom and he completely dropped everything, pants, underwear, everything to his ankles. And when I start hearing him piss, I don't think that I could believe it, and I turned, and to this day, the image of the chocolate starfish is burned into my skull.
Oh man.
I should probably go to therapy for it.
Yeah, you should. And, I'm sorry that, I would have much rather seen a Prince William or another type of dildo in that situation than an actual, geriatric asshole. But, oh my God, man, send me your address. I'll drop a basket of fruit off at your porch. Oh my God.
Nothing fruit can't solve, right?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, nothing fruit, thoughts and prayers. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. So, man, after something like that, I'm sure you've got some way that you unwind or, try to figure it out. What's your thing to do?
Well, I am a frequent flyer at Pornhub. I was told 10 hole punches and I get to see the elusive fourth hole. So, but no.
Oh. Wait. Let me take notes here. Okay. 4.
That's like getting that's like getting a ZJ. A ZJ.
A ZJ.
That's right. If you don't know, you can't afford it.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to have to leave that one a mystery then.
In all seriousness, no, I am very lucky to live in a very mountainous region. So definitely on my weekends or federal holidays that I'm kind of required to take off, I love to go hiking or camping. I do have a big river right behind my apartment, so sometimes I'll go pop in and swim in that. And I'm a very, very big proponent of going to the gym, and especially during the summer when people in our industry are getting overworked. I'm a big proponent into make sure that you treat your body right with eating good food and try to do some sort of physical activity, even if it's not for nutritional health, it's just for your mental health.
Sure. And ass. Sure. Eating ass too. Don't forget eating ass.
That's right.
Well, that burns calories, of course.
Ass is part of it's on the food pyramid. It's kind of on the bottom, like right in the middle.
It's the other white. It's the other white meat.
It is the other white meat.
And I definitely have to say that being on the Pest Control Humor Depot has definitely helped me a lot, because before I even knew that this group existed, I could feel myself starting to have my friends and family just be like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, Tate, like stop telling us about work, please." So before I found that group, I didn't really have too many people to talk to about it. So yeah, getting on the depot and seeing all the funny but also relatable shit that people post has definitely helped me unwind a lot.
That is why we are here, Tater. Absolutely. For people to come and vent, because you're absolutely right. I have the same way. I have 2 other brothers. One of them is still in this life. The other one moved on to something else, but he spent a lot of quality time there, and we can still talk amongst each other. We'll go to like family functions, reunions and shit like that. We'll be getting together and talk shop. And everybody else is like, "God, is that all you guys fucking talk about?" So it's like, and this gives us a chance to talk to somebody else, especially this day and age where, you've got a lot of, solo operators that don't have anyone to talk to. They come home, they try to talk this shit to their wife. They either don't understand or just don't want to fucking listen to it. And, also, even the bigger places, a lot of these places, the powwow in the tech room before you start out for the day is disappearing fast. So, the camaraderie, and, communication that the, places like, PCHD, the graveyard and places like that. I mean, it's really important to our sanity. So,
Absolutely.
I'm glad, I am overjoyed and proud, Issa, that you feel that way about it, because that's exactly why I did it.
Yep. Cheese bags are definitely a different breed of weird, but they are the best breed of weird.
Yeah, we try not to take ourselves too seriously, and I think that's one of the things that sets us apart from the other groups.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So boxer's briefs for Commando, Tater.
So I have actually moved all of my undergarments to bamboo briefs, because not only do they keep you cool in the wintertime, they have a little hole that separates the potato wedge from the tater tots, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And they're really easy access for urinals. So I definitely recommend any brief that's made with 95% bamboo and 5% polyester for all of our brothers and sisters that work down south or wherever the weather is really abusively hot. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, when the twig sticks to the berries, it's not a good thing. So, be sure, hey, post a link, will you?
No, it's when the doodad sticks to the side of your leg and you gotta like do that little mid stride squat to get it to detach. That's when people start looking at you funny.
Yeah, they start thinking you're shitting your pants or something and not trying to to dislodge things.
Having to do the potty dance.
Yeah. I'm going to hit you with the last one I got, Tater. If you could change one thing about any facet of our beloved industry, what would that be?
Oh man, there's definitely, some things that might be a little polarizing to some people. So I'm going to do the most polarizing one,
Please.
right off the bat. When certain companies use interior traps for rodent control, I'm really tired of them not baiting the traps and then lying to the clients on saying, if you put some sort of attractant on the trap, you're just bringing more rodents in, because that's not true. The mice. Yeah, I've heard this from multiple sources. The reason that they don't put peanut butter or nut butter or Slim Jims on, let's just say, mouse snap traps, is because they claim to their clients that it will bring more mice. And I'm so sick and tired of going to sales calls where certain clients have been brainwashed by bad information from different techs.
Yeah. Well, you did say nut butter, and I swear I can only probably bait. I can only bait about three of them, about 3 of them before I run out. I'm only good for about 3 traps.
Make sure you drink lots of Gatorade, Jack.
It's going to be a short route for me, I can tell you that.
My brain went, wait, I've got one for that.
Yeah. And maybe it's because I never really worked for a company, or my current company doesn't really do too many quarterly services, but I've also had times where I have had certain situations where the prior company has given clients their own glue boards and their own little bait boxes to set out because they're on a quarterly service. And I'm just under the impression, and maybe it's because I haven't even been in the industry for half a decade yet, so maybe I'm just gullible, but I just feel like if you're giving your clients all this stuff to do the pest control themselves, what do they really need you for? Stop giving clients bait boxes, especially bait boxes and their own glue boards, just because you don't want to take the time to do a callback.
Right.
There's a company now that does that for people. There's a company that does that for people. Don't get me on that name. I can't say the name, but you know what I'm talking about. The little Capri Sun with the pesticide,
right?
Yeah, the one I'm banned from.
Yeah. The one you're banned from. Yeah,
you get that little Capri Sun.
The one they include a butt plug in every package. Yeah. Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah. That place. I'll tell you what though, you got a point there, Tater. I think rodent control is probably one of the most, one of the biggest things that, really should be changed. I mean, the proper thing to do is find out how they're getting in, take care of it, and then harvest what's in there. If I can make a suggestion, you rattled off a lot of things to put in the traps. Betty Crocker vanilla frosting from the can.
Ooh, that's good.
Vanilla for mice, and for Norway rats, you want chocolate. It's got to be Betty Crocker. They turn their nose up at Duncan Hines. They turn their nose up at that Aldi shit, but it's got to be Betty fucking Crocker. I fucking slay with that stuff. And, I don't know what it is.
Check that out.
But vanilla for mice, Norway rats get chocolate. And,
I'm a cherry tomato guy for that. Cherry tomatoes, man. I cut a little fucking wedge cherry tomatoes and I get them all.
Oh, there ain't no rodent gonna get my cherry tomatoes, man. Those go on my salad. Fuck that shit. I'll fit that. My wife always keeps a good stash of frostings because you never know when you're gonna need a cake or a brownie or something like that. When the stuff starts getting expired, she goes, "Hey, I got some about ready to go out of date." I take it to work, and if I've got a good stash already in my truck, I give it to another tech. And then we get out and we bait and we fucking harvest some shit. But exclusion and harvesting is in my opinion is the best way to do it. Other opinions may vary, but that's where we have luck.
Yeah. I got a question for you. I want to know what your biggest oh shit moment was on the job.
Good one.
Oh shit moment. Oh shit,
oh shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Happen?
Well, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Oh shit, I saw her titties. Anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That definitely has to be, in this particular town that I work in, 3% of the world's billionaires have vacation homes here. And I just want to say, if I ever go missing, Issa Tater did not kill himself. Okay.
Duly noted.
I was doing work, for a brand new property. And when I went in there, I was met by 3 armed security guards, who, when I got to know them more and more, were very nice guys, but this was in the heart of COVID. So I was masked up and whatnot, and they wanted me, and they actually took my pocket knife from me. Like, I eventually got a much better pocket knife than the one that I lost from that rat. And it sucks because I need to use that pocket knife for many things, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm going throughout the house, and this individual's, romantic partner, just absolutely put the fear of God in me when they talked to me, the way that they looked at me. It's just talking to a very unusual person. Cause like I said, very, very rich and powerful people. And, this person was under the assumption that I could kind of wave a magic wand and they will never have another mouse, in their kitchen or in their living room. And I started to kind of go through the motions and figure out, like, well, what's the situation with the house? And they do sometimes leave doors open. Okay, whatever. People like fresh air, but I kind of use that in a way for why they might be getting mice, and they didn't really accept that. And this person's romantic partner was hyper focused on their little ice box in their kitchen, because most ice boxes have a little hole that goes into the wall void. And so they were really pressuring me to move the ice box and seal it up. And normally I don't like sealing up the inside of the homes, especially on the first date. Like, I like to kind of go through the motions, but as I'm next to this very important character's partner, surrounded by 3 armed security guards, I kind of broke off from me being the professional and me being, oh shit, like, these people are kind of scaring me. And so I moved the ice box, sealed it up, and then when I put the ice box back, I accidentally didn't put the drainage tube fully back in the hole. Oh. So I get a call the next week from the manager of the property, and the icebox actually flooded the entire wall in the laundry room below the kitchen.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh shit. And exactly.
That was an oh shit moment for sure. Cause I'm like, oh God, like, not only did I feel terrible for ruining that wall, I was also just terrified just from the particular person's house I did it at, cause yeah, they're just, very, and it turned out to be good because they still kept me on property. They still fixed the wall. They kind of lightened up to me, but to this day, I'm still just kind of scared because sometimes when you do get to meet somebody that you know is very well connected and very powerful and richer than, you know, medieval kings.
It's intimidating, isn't it?
Yeah. I try to treat the CEO the same way that I treat the janitor, but there's just certain situations where a certain level of fear just overcomes you, and that's definitely my biggest oh shit moment.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Definitely a no shit moment. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it turned out okay.
Yeah, it did. Nothing like a happy ending, regardless if it's if it's a story about pest control or if it's a massage parlor.
Absolutely.
Real quick is, if there is anything else in life that you could be other than what you are or who you are right now, what would that be?
Oh man.
I know I'm digging deep.
Yeah. That's a great question. I think, one of my favorite idols growing up was definitely Steve Irwin. That guy was just a truly unique character. He was like the wildlife version of Mr. Rogers. Like anybody who knew him didn't have anything bad to say about him. And what he did for conservation as a whole was very important. Plus, he really got to mess with very dangerous animals too, which I find very fascinating. So I feel like if I could, right now, I do kind of feel like I am living that dream in a way, because I feel like I'm the perfect mixture of Steve Irwin and Dale Gribble. But I feel like that'd probably be my dream job, to be a wildlife conservationist and also have my own TV show, my own platform to kind of spread that to the masses. And if it wasn't that, I'd probably be a professional partier that just gets paid to go to music festivals. But one's good for the pot. One's good for the greater good, and one's just very sinful and fun. So,
how
about you guys? What's your dream job?
I'd like to try Porky Pig.
What's that?
Just because. Porky Pig, just because, Just because. Porky Pig.
I think my dream job had always been to be on the radio. I'd always wanted, ever since I was little, I wanted to be a DJ.
Dude, I said it before. You have the late night FM kind of voice, It's like
you really do.
Slow jams, slow jams, boys.
Slow jams, yeah.
Slow jams, right, Jack Starry.
Yeah. Grab your Hennessy and your favorite girl. It's time for slow jams.
Slow jams. We'll start off with a little Fleetwood Mac.
Keep on it, man, because this podcast will definitely blow up for sure.
Well, here's hoping.
We're getting there, man. I've been pimping the show out. I put something on the National Pest Management Association open forum and about the show, and I've been getting tons of emails asking about it. So spread that shit out. I mean, everybody tell your fucking friends, people.
Exactly. Yeah. Last week we actually reached our 13th download.
That's awesome.
Actually, we're pegging about 1,000 downloads a week right now, or a month right now. So it's awesome. I'm glad that we're able to get, to get out to listeners, and we're just having a good time here.
Oh yeah, no, and
always.
I've been telling people when I put that post, I said it is NSFW. It's not safe for work, but it's totally relatable.
Absolutely not.
And all the searches that I've done for podcasts about pest control, there is no other podcast like us. None. We are the only one doing this kind of show. So, God damn it, it's got to pick up somewhere.
That's right. Yeah. So, but we talk about ourselves and everything, but we also like to give shouts out to some of the other podcasts. We talked about it last week at the 55-minute mark that I was actually told that we did. Beers of War is probably one of the a really good casual podcast. You want to hear about game if you're into gaming, or into just listening to a few guys that have known each other and been buddies since childhood, just shooting the shit.
Or into beer.
That's a good, or into beer. Absolutely. That's a good one to check out. My buddy Brandon, is one of the guys that's on there. He's a straight up guy, and the podcast itself, it's a good, light, casual podcast. And, these guys know their gaming, and so, it's worth a download.
It is, and I put a page on tftc.wtf for podcasts that are worth your time, and there's a link to the Beers of War podcast on there. So if you're having trouble finding it, just go to our website, tftc.wtf, and go to the page Podcasts That Are Worth Your Time, and you'll find the Beers of War podcast there.
That's right. So Issa, man, I can't tell you how much I've appreciated and enjoyed our time together here. We've known each other through the depot for some time, and it's really been a pleasure to hear your voice and hear what you have to say.
Oh, definitely.
Likewise, gentlemen, it's been a great time, and I very appreciate coming on to the podcast and letting me spew my bullshit.
Well, I'll tell you, and based on one of your stories this evening that you've told us, I'm going to put a little sound file at the end of the show, which means you're going to have to listen to it to find out what it is. But there's going to be a little sound file at the end of the show for you.
See, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about, so this will be a surprise to me too.
That's intriguing. Yes, yeah. Love it, Jack.
So, next week's episode is non-existent. Jack and I are going to take a brief hiatus over the following week to kind of recoup ourselves from the dizziness and reeling that is an evening with Issa Tater and
walking funny.
That's right, walking funny. So we're gonna take a week off, and you'll hear from us again the following week. Jack and I will decide what the hell we're going to talk about at that time. So if you guys got any suggestions, feel free to reach out at Pest Control Humor Depot on Facebook. And, let us know what you think, and, be sure to also drop us a review out there on, tftc.wtf, which stands for what the fuck.
What the fuck. Now, and I gotta tell you can find us at Instagram at TFTC Podcast, and on TikTok, and our TikTok at TFTC 2.0.
TikTok.
And TikTok. That's my own little porn channel. Is what that is.
That's right.
Fuck OnlyFans. I got TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Pest Control Humor Depot, and on the website you can reach us. You can contact us there. You can even leave a fucking voicemail from the website. And yeah, honest reviews, good, bad, or indifferent. We'd love to have them. And whatever podcast provider you're using, if you want to leave us a review there as well, it only helps us get the word out some. Don't cost you a goddamn penny. And speaking about costing you a penny, $5 beer koozies, TFTC and PCHD. Have your beer in style.
And we also still have plenty of magnets as well. So nothing goes with a koozie like a good PCHD glove up your cheese bags magnet. If you can't be somebody, you can at least be a cheese bag. Order yours today.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah. Issa, once again, thanks for coming on. Like to have you on again sometime. So, we'll let you know if we actually decide to do that. Jack, always a pleasure. And,
yes, sir. Thank you.
Everybody out there, thank you very much for listening. On behalf of Tales from the Crawlspace Podcast, Pest Control Humor Depot on Facebook, bug the hell off.
Bug off.
Bug off.
Oh, nice marmot.
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawlspace Podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawlspace Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.